And here, my friends, we have what is probably, or who is probably the most notorious for what I had mentioned earlier, showing and putting up misleading thumbnails for their mods. IA92 or Imperial Agent 92 is known for putting up cartoons or fantasy-inspired pictures, which, of course, nothing the mod does even remotely resembles what is in the picture or the thumbnail, which I feel is deceptive. But what is this? Let's see. I'm an Imperial fan, so this mod I made for myself, but I'd like to share it with you. Reskin the original heavy armor, the original heavy Imperial armor with goldish and Imperial shield, or also reskin. I have a spare of time to make this. You will get full face Imperial helmet, cuirass gauntlet, new skin for Imperial sword. Not compatible with any Imperial retexture. It will override the armor. The stats are default. Okay. So it's an Imperial reskin. I'm assuming that it puts some sort of gold accents on the vanilla Imperial armor, which actually is a good idea. But there is no illustration to show us what it might look like. Of course, there's a YouTube link. Go to IA92's channel to see what it looks like. It would be certainly more convenient if we could just see at least one example right here. It is 6.25 megabytes. Probably not something I'm going to even be interested in getting. Young mutant, Argonian vampire child race. Hope it works. Oh boy. Well, nothing more to be said about that. No accompanying picture, so it probably doesn't work, but who knows? What is somebody else's problem? What is this? Skyrim Leona, a name I've noticed being prolific as of late. I'm new here. This is a simple mod to let you tell Eltris that no, seriously, the note isn't yours. Or mine. No, seriously, that note is not mine. I want nothing to do with it. Someone just died because of this 10 feet from you, and you have better things to get killed over. Eltris will offer to pay you because this is important to him. You can extort him if you're a terrible person, or you can insist that no, seriously, you don't want the note. At which point he'll take it back. And the Forsworn conspiracy quest will stop, while the actual conspiracy continues behind closed doors. Wow. Well, that is interesting. I don't usually do the Forsworn conspiracy quest. I have done it a handful of times over the years. I don't tend to do it, but here's a workaround. That's interesting. It's a very lightweight mod. If anyone uses this or has used it, let me know how well that works. Very interesting. Okay, Aldmeri Proudspire Manor. TNF Music Patch. Okay. Will-o'-the-Wisp once again. Custom music from the Aldmeri Proudspire Manor. Oh, TNF homes that have been redone. Okay. So it's if you have the Proudspire Manor TNF house, this is a patch for different music, I guess. I'd be interested to hear what that sounds like. Carly is a vampire girl who wants to see action, located in Whiterun Hall of the Dead, because she is a vampire. Well, hell, of course. Tried to make he leave with the player. That's something else that I find extraordinarily annoying, is the number of typos we see during mod descriptions. Good lord, people. Proofread your shit. Sorry. I just feel a bit passionate about that, because what sort of effort does it take to go back and proofread to make sure everything's spelled correctly? Okay. Ooh. TPOS2 RLO patch. Now, currently, as most of you know, I'm using, for lighting, I'm using ELE with window shadows as my interior lighting. But I get so many remarks on the Discords about RLO. It seems that RLO is what most people are using, but people who are not using ELFX are using RLO. So apparently it's very good. It's not compatible with window shadows. That's the problem I have with it, but perhaps, just perhaps, in the next load order, I will ditch ELE and window shadows for RLO. And it would be nice to be able to go into my TPOS2 inns and taverns and not have the lighting flickering all over the place, because it's not compatible with my current lighting mod. Grandpa's cabin. Ooh, custom cabin for my grandparents. This is my first house mod, please enjoy. Located next to Half Moon Mill on beautiful Lake Ilinalta. Well, that's cool. Dirk Saw 4, Dirk SA, however you say your name. Your grandparents play Skyrim? That is absolutely incredibly awesome if that's the case. I know Shirley Curry. I'm a big fan of hers. She's a big inspiration of mine. The Skyrim grandma. If you don't know Shirley, zoom out to Shirley Curry. She is the Skyrim grandma. But if somebody else has parents that also play Skyrim, that's incredible. So what do we have here? 2021 Cathedral Weathers and Seasons by Skyrim Leona. 81.9 megabytes. Oh. Okay. Okay, so it's a weather mod. Looks amazing from the one screenshot we get. That looks incredible. The thing is, I use Mythical Ages, which every day looks incredible, and it's 3 point something megabytes. You know, so I have a problem with these weather mods that are absolutely gargantuan. And I know they look good. They look good. Cathedral Weathers is probably overall a better weather mod than Mythical Ages, but it's 50 times the size. So something's got to give. Mythical Ages, to me, in my mind, for what I'm looking for, always looks awesome. You know, so that's what I stick to. Thugs, not assassins. Skyrim Leona. I thought this was already ported by Moose. Moose something rather from Tales from Tamriel. Let's see. Unless it was taken down. So if you've ever thieved much in Skyrim, chances are you're familiar with the thugs who occasionally get hired to track you down and kill you. Yes. And so this allows you to somewhat negotiate with the thugs. Instead of them just automatically aggroing on you, you now have opportunities to use persuasion, sneak, illusion, and you have an incentive to stash away your stolen items. Huh. I mean, it's a very cool sounding mod. This is an example of a great mod, or something that I think would be great, if only I had more mod slots. I mean, look, it doesn't take up any space. And I have leftover mod space. I just don't have any more mod slots. I would love to use this, because I'm always beating up these hired thugs, you know. Okay, what is this? Strong, Odahviing, and Durnavir. Skyrim Leona again. Hey, zoom out to Skyrim Leona, who has been very prolific, apparently, over the last couple of weeks that I have not been looking at the mods. So look at this. Makes Odahviing and Durnavir more useful as companions for harder difficulty. Okay. So it gives them some extra shouting ability. It makes them more powerful. Works best on a new game. Well, that's a good idea. For virtually no space. Spells scale with skill level. Oh boy. Skyrim Leona is on a roll. This is something that I have always felt should be included in the base game. Okay, so let's see here. What do we get? Once you pick the novice perk. Okay, so what I gather here is that you could use something like Flames or any novice level spell, and it becomes more powerful as you level up. Why would that not have been incorporated into the base game? Why would magic not scale with your level? That's the way it should be. 2.89 kilobytes, my friends. Has anyone used this yet? Because this is a very good idea. And I'm surprised, very surprised, it has not already been done. Okay, ooh, here we go. Tamu 75's Alternative Aspens, ported by Skyfall 515. Okay, so Skyfall, yes, Skyfall I know from Tales from Tamriel Discord, ports a lot of good mods. Most notably to me is SFO 2.0. So this makes all the Aspens green, right? Okay. Yes, green leaves, new meshes. So that's very cool. About 9.6 megabytes. Very cool. Oh, here we go. Alternative Aspens and SFO 2.0 LOD patch. Yeah. Essential. Obviously, you need a patch as well. So, I wonder... excuse me. I don't often pay attention to the ratings, like the number of stars, but I see here that he's got 3 out of 5 stars. And that's 2 ratings. So I think that, I don't know. How reliable is that? Probably not very. We've got, unfortunately, in this world we live in, we have these things called trolls. And they are basically worthless uses of oxygen on this planet, right? Okay, so here's Sword of Edicts by Guthix. Auditor. Okay, so what is this? Forged from the elder metals of Gaelenor. The Sword of Edicts was all that was keeping the gods from returning to a world ravaged by war. And of course, we get no actual fucking picture of the fucking mod. Just whatever that is. I'm sure it's supposed to look similar to that, but no. It's 6.41 kilobytes, so it looks nothing like that. However it looks nothing like that. Good. By the fucking gods, people. If I'm wrong about it, then feel free to flame me in the comments. But I don't think that anything that's 6.41 kilobytes is going to look anything like that damn illustration. That bugs me, man. A lot of favorites. Lots of favorites and lots of high ratings. So, am I wrong? I could be wrong, I guess. The location, Riverwood by the docks. Okay, perhaps I'm wrong, but I'm very skeptical of that. Patch notes? So is this a patch? Is this some kind of patch to something that already exists? Whoa. The sword's worth a shitload, isn't it? So I can... Okay, well, I can believe it if this is a patch that's added on, but that's not made evident by the title. And what do we have here? Ancient Land by Skeleton May? I don't recognize that particular name. Okay, so this mod adds several objects and areas to make Skyrim feel more fantasy-like. That's good. Oh, this mod was mainly inspired by the Ruins mod. If you've not heard of or used, there's a mod called The Ruins, which is very nice. It does a lot of what TPOS2 does, only on a more simple, basic level. Adds lots of ruins and things such as this to the game. So he's made something similar, but to fit his own tastes. Nothing but static objects added. And it's less than 1 megabyte, 754.76. I wish we had more pictures to go on here. It's just the one picture, but based on the description and the picture, I think this is very promising. This could be very good. Ancient Land. I would like to try that. If only I had the space. But one of these days, perhaps. Bleak Rock Retreat. Near Rorikstead. Family-sized home for the adventurous player. Okay? So it's got all this... Wasn't there something towards the beginning of this video that's similar to this? If not the same thing. Very similar. Yes, because it reminds me of the Markarth home. Oh, I see. It's like your own little private Dwemer settlement or town there. Interesting. So, and that's very low file size, so that certainly could be good, certainly worth adding if you want more content in your land overall. I like it. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see that. I have no idea what the fuck this is. Common clothes and armor. Ooh, Skyfall. So Skyfall... Oh my goodness, look at the file size. Holy Hjalti. Oh, there's already 3 versions on Bethesda.net. He's porting this one due to it being 98 megabytes smaller in file size. So is this something similar to Fashions of the 4th Era? Texture is 1K. Patch is not a requirement. Adds 130 new clothing and armor to the common people of Skyrim. So it does seem to me, it is, in a way, in that way, it's similar to Fashions of the 4th Era, but it's a much larger mod. And it includes, okay, Brigandage, also included in Fashions of the 4th Era, that adds armor to bandits. 51 new armors, 80 new clothes. They can be bought. Armors are worn by bandits. Wow. Wow. That is amazing. Well, it seems amazing. It looks amazing based on what we have here to go on. So what is... Is it like a more extensive version of Fashions of the 4th Era? Because the file size is much larger. Wow, it's 3 times the size. Almost. But being that it is ported by Skyfall 515, I'm confident that there is, there's not going to be any purple textures or anything in there. it's going to be top-notch quality. So Thum out to Skyfall. Thum out, Skyfall. That looks amazing. I'm going to have to, at some point, test that. However it is that I clear up that much space in my load order. Man. Wow, and that's it. That's the end of the line. And I feel that since I last looked at the mods, there's others that I'm not seeing, because nothing here is even familiar to me from the last time that I looked. Whew, breathtaking. Okay, so, okay. Okay, I told you I had a couple of mods that I wanted to point out for my own purposes. I'm going to do so now. The first one is Druss the Legend. Druss the Legend is a follower. First of all, whatever hair that is, I want that hair for my own character. I want Kolar to wear that hair. It looks awesome. It's just sort of unkempt, long, barbarian-style hair for men. Men don't have enough options when it comes to things like this. It's all this short hair, I don't know, pretty-looking shit, you know? That's not what I'm after. Besides that, though, Druss the Legend is based off of a character. He's a literary character in books. The Druss books by David Gemmell. Is it Gemmell? I'm not sure, but anyway, let me show you this. Months ago, when this mod first came out months ago, and I read the description, I took note of it because the mod author said he was inspired by these books. Druss the Legend, and this is the novel Legend. And although the illustration on the front here, that actually looks like Sean Connery with white hair, which, you know, but the book was surprisingly good. Impressively good. And this is the first in the series, and so I've been reading the other Druss books, and I read a lot of books. It's really quite amazing just how good these are. And Druss, mind you, is a complete badass. He is a legend. He is Druss the Legend, obviously. And so when I'm reading the books, I imagine this particular character. This is Druss as I read the books. And for his voice, it's Yorlin Greymane is the voice type that I imagine when I'm reading those books. So I've not used this mod, but I want to incorporate him in at some point. It's kind of big for a follower, about 40 megabytes or so, but there's custom textures there, so I appreciate that. And his axe, Snagga the Sender, is apparently just a steel axe, but I wanted to point that out. And there's one more literary reference here. Let me search real quick. How many of you have heard of Uhtred of Bebbanburg? Hopefully not just from the show The Last Kingdom, because The Last Kingdom on Netflix is the show based upon Uhtred of Bebbanburg, and the books, I have one of them here. Let's see here. Let me line it up. Yes, The Pagan Lord. All the books are by Bernard Cornwell. And it is quite simply my all-time favorite series of books. Because Uhtred himself, of course, is a badass. But it's historical fiction is the genre. And he takes part in real battles with real historical characters. And Uhtred himself is based upon somebody who might have been real at the time. And then they came out with the series, The Last Kingdom, based off of these books. And the individual that stars as Uhtred of Bebbanburg, he's a great actor. He's a gifted actor, honestly. But listen, he's not Uhtred. He's not Uhtred at all. Uhtred, according to the books, is large, physically imposing. He's over 6'2", 6'3". He towers over other people of his size. He has golden blonde hair. Whereas the guy in the show, The Last Kingdom, is at best 5'9" with dark hair. It's not fucking Uhtred, and it pisses me off. Somebody has gone to the trouble of making an Uhtred follower, and this is Uhtred. This is how he should look. This is how he looks in the books. And so I really appreciate the attention to detail. I'm not sure what's going on here. Is he doing crunches on the roof? I don't know. But that is... In fact, he kind of resembles... slightly resembles Chris Hemsworth of Thor fame. But honestly, that is how Uhtred should look. So I also want to, at some point in time, incorporate this well-made, high-quality follower. And thum out to you, Dova. How do you say that? Dova Kinathe. However you say your name, thum out to you for making a legit Uhtred. That's how he's supposed to look. All right, my friends, that is all I have to say. Read the book Legend by David Gemmell about Druss the Legend, and for the love of the gods, start with The Last Kingdom. Read the Uhtred books. There's about 12 or 13 or so books. The very last book in the series, It Breaks My Heart, just came out. I'm about to start reading it. Read those books, my friends. If you're into battles, if you're into realism from that time in history, and we're talking about, 10th century or so. The Druss books are fantasy. You've got a little bit of magic going on in there, but not much. So, I thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, thum out to you. I remain Kolar the Unkilled, and I shall see you next time around.